How you doing? I'm Mr. Gergen, and welcome to my classroom crib. Come on in. I'll give you a tour of my crib here. As you can see, I teach government, so I've got George Washington, Thomas Jefferson up here. Also at the top, I've got some senior art displayed on this side that some of the seniors have left to decorate my particular room. I also teach Cincinnati history, and you can see the famous 14 murals here along the top of the board that I have related to what was at Union Terminal, then the airport, and now downtown is the Duke Energy Center. At the top, the two right pieces are senior art again, sports motif, and then I have my man Steve Nash who keeps an eye when we do the current event game. He's my videotape to make sure nobody's cheating. Along the side wall here of the classroom, you can see I've got a lot of nature pictures, national parks. I'm into that, really appreciate that. You can see how beautiful our country happens to be. It adds a great deal to the classroom. You can see up here at the top in the middle though, I have that golf picture of the famous hole from the TPC, Players Championship Challenge, Championship Challenge, Players Championship Challenge. Just to put a little challenge, sports challenge to my students as well. Here I am in my Captain Kirk Command Center. You can see that I'm surrounded here by famous, intelligent people just to motivate me, to try to go ahead and motivate my students as well. Some famous philosophers, sports and so forth behind me as well. And in the back of the classroom, you can see again the motif here for the government. I've got the American flag, got Washington, D.C. here over my left shoulder, and then a little bit more nature. Again, I think it's important that surround the students with a nice, interesting atmosphere to help them learn as much as possible. All right, I have a TA in each of my classes, teacher's assistant. And this is the TA desk here. And you can see the mouse on the desk. When I'm in front of the board, this is the student that's at my command center here working the computer for me on the smart board up front. All right, I have two techniques up front to make sure I keep my students engaged in class. Sometimes there's the tennis ball here that I'm bouncing around or throwing against the wall. Sometimes when that student in the back might be sleeping, he might get one. Not really, but I may toss it at him just to go ahead and wake him up. And by the way, this is a very special tennis ball, special gift of my favorite tennis player, Maria Sharapova. All right, here's my second technique to keep my students in line, and that's my golf club. I get this up here in front, and I'm waving it around. It kind of just keeps people on their toes. For example, you can see my two students here in the front here. Sometimes when I'm waving it like this, you know, it keeps them engaged in class and focused on what we're trying to talk about. In my long career, I've never actually hit anybody in class. Sorry, that was an accident there when I slipped on that one. So, all right, this is normally the position I'm in when I do my current event games for all my classes. It's very competitive. It's great. It gets the students looking at what's happening around them currently. At the end of that game, usually I tear up the current events and then I just make a nice toss into the basket over here, especially with Steve Nash watching me. It's pretty impressive at times when that sometimes goes in the basket. Well, I want to thank you for visiting me in my classroom crib here, and it's about time I get back to business, so it's time for you to get out of my classroom crib.